सदाशिवसमारम्भां व्यासशङ्करमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम ह्रीं नमः शिवाय। ओम त्र्यंबकं यजामहे सुगंधिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। ओम ह्रीं नमः शिवाय। ओम त्र्यंबकं यजामहे सुगंधिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। ओम ह्रीं नमः शिवाय। ओम त्र्यंबकं यजामहे सुगंधिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। So Anuvak number 10. So this Anuvak is a bit different from the other ones, because here there is no Namaha, there is no praising of the Lord. On the contrary, in this there are 12 verses in this chapter, and all of them ask the Lord not to do things or not to do certain things, or it is a prayer by the devotee requesting the Bhagavan to protect from various things. So the first one which we're going to look today is Dhrape antasaspate dharidra nila lohita. Dhrape antasaspate dharidra nila lohita. Yesham purushanam yesham pashunam ma bher maro mo yesham kinchanamamat. Dhrape antasaspate dharidra nila lohita. Yesham purushanam yesham pashunam ma bher maro mo yesham kinchanamamat. So watch this swara. This is how we should chant. So going up, going down. So the first word is called Dhrape or Dhrapihi. So Dhrapihi denotes the Bhagavan Rudra here, who pushes you into something uncomfortable. He is also the person who can bestow benefits to you, and Dhrapi denotes a person or the Bhagavan here, who sometimes gives you problems. He's not always going to give you sukham. He's also going to give you some dukkham so that you remember him. See, if life is everything good, supposing you get all the happiness, Bhagavan is easily forgotten. Why would you remember the Bhagavan when you got everything there? For that, you should be prepared. So, your Bhagavan has to be there in the forefront for you to think about everything. But the human mind or the human personality is such a way that when happiness comes, we tend to revel in Anandaha. We tend to dwell in that Anandaha, the happiness, and sometimes the Bhagavan is forgotten. So you forget to do pujas, you forget to offer some things, or you forget to, follow certain rituals. Because you say, what is the point of I got enough now. I don't need to. What will happen? I got enough money for me to survive for next 7 generations. So when you get this kind of an attitude, then the Bhagavan lives in the background. Right? So that is why sometimes this kind of things happen. So here Dhrapihi is the person who pushes us into a testing period where one asks a question, oh my God, I have forgotten you in the process of pursuing all these desires. So when you pursue the desires, when you pursue all this artha, kama, dharma, right? Moksha is sometimes forgotten. So that is why Dhrapehi. So Dhrapi is a person who sometimes just gives pain to us or unwelcome situation to us for us to remember, for us to go back to our old habits of worshipping and being a karma yogi. Great. So it is like, worshipping Lord Saturn, Shani Bhagavan. See, if you worship Shani Bhagavan, what do you do when you go to temple? People all go to, on Saturdays, they all go there. And Navagraham, they all go and they light the lamp, the til lamp, right? So the til lamp is, til, right? The elde. So they light the lamp and then they go around with the Shani Bhagavan and offer it. And what do you think they actually pray? They pray to Shani Bhagavan that Shani na pidikka kudadu. Correct. So what you say is, Shani Bhagavan, please do not come near me. Nobody says that, Shani, please come to me. Right? See, Shani Bhagavan, you are excellent in everything, and I want to please you. So you don't do that, because Shani, Bhagavan, when he please, he will only bring you dukkha. So what do? You pray the other way, right? Other Ram. Say, may not you please come next to me. Please stay away from me. Please keep me from all this dukkham, etc. That is why I am praying. So this is a different type of prayer where Bhagavan is now asked that I have asked you so many things. Now please don't do this to me. So do not hurt me, or do not. This is my prayer. I've done everything for you now, and this is a simple prayer that request. Don't do this to me. Right? So Dhrapehe is also a type of prayer where he will request the Bhagavan not to give you things. But Dhrapi here means the person who is ready to give you. He will, even if you don't want also, it will come to you. Because you are not in control of the results. These are desires. Both are the Bhagavan. See, Nimitta Karanam and Upadana Karanam also is Bhagavan. The cause is the Bhagavan, effect is the Bhagavan. Right? So that's why here. Then, Andas Patihi. Andasaspate means Andas means food. So Andas means food. And Patihi means what? The Lord of the food. So Dhrapehe Antaha Antaspatihi. Then Dharidrat Neela Lohitaha. So Dharidra means not the Dharidra. Okay. Here Dharidrat means the one who does not have anything on his own. So Dharidrat means the one who does not have anything on his own. Because he doesn't need anything for his own purpose. See, Bhagavan does not need to hold anything. He doesn't need to keep anything for the Anakya. This is mine. Because everything is Bhagavan. All of them, we are including us, also is Bhagavan. We ourselves are the product of the Bhagavan. So where is the question of you saying that this is mine? This is Ahankara, correct? Muda Ahankara. false ahankara where you have a view that you being the product of the Bhagavan, you being the prasada of the Bhagavan itself, somehow you develop this attitude that this is mine. All these are mine. So this is all false notion. That is why he says here daridra. Right? So the one who does not have anything of his own. Then Neela Lohitaha. See, Neelaha means the blue-necked person. And Lohitaha means the red. So the red stands for Uma, Umayal. So the Bhagavan who is present as the Shiva and Shakti. So Neela Lohitaha is one word. It's not Neela Lohitaha. It's Neela Lohitaha. So you cannot separate the word there. So Neelaha means Shiva and Lohitaha means Uma. So Shiva and Uma Sahes, Sametaha. Uma Maheshwara Sametaha. So you never worship Bhagavan just by Shiva only. You worship Bhagavan with the Shakti. So if you see also in any place, they will always worship Nataraja with the power Shakti also. Right? Shivakami also is there. Right? And there are rules about how much you should have. If you have a Murti also, the Shivakami should be half of the statue of Nataraja. Shivakami cannot be taller than Nataraja. It cannot be sitting under the Nataraja also. It has to be half left side, on the right side of Nataraja. So in some dance schools, they just worship Nataraja. They do not worship Shivakami because it's unimportant for them. But our philosophy says that Neela Lohitaha. It means what? You worship Uma Shiva with the Shakti. Shakti lele Shiva millai. Without the Shakti, there is no thing called Shiva. Just as Maya is the power of Brahman. Okay. So Maya Shakti, what do you call? Maya is a feminine name. Ya Maya, Sa Maya. I mean, this Maya is like this. So without the power being there, Brahman also cannot manifest. Bhagavan also cannot manifest. So the power has to be there. The word powerful doesn't exist without the word power. Right? So you cannot have the word powerful without having the word power. So powerful means there's already power present in there. The same way here also, Neela Lohitaha. It means the Bhagavan, the blue-necked Lord, and the Uma, red-faced Uma. So also the second definition of Neela Lohitaha is the form of the cosmos itself, the entire Srishti itself. So Neela Lohitaha first is Saguna Brahma Upasana in the form of blue-necked Lord and the red-faced Uma, which is, the Uma signifies the power. The second definition also talks about Neela Lohitaha being the entire cosmos. So Drapihi Andaspatihi Daridra Lohitaha. Neela Lohitaha. Got it? Okay. Then, next. Yeshaha Purushanam. So Yeshaha means this, Purushaha means Yesham Purushaha Ma Bihi. So Purushaha Ma Bihi. So if you look at the second line, Yesham Purushanam Mesham Pashunam Ma Bir Maro. Right? So Ma Bhe means the word Ma indicates negation. Please do not. Correct. Mate sangostu akarmani. Karmani eva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. So ma means what? No. Ma, never get attached to the results. Ma phaleshu kadachana. So the word ma indicates negation. So, maham brahma nirakuryam. That means what? Let me not negate Brahman. Maham, ma aham brahma nirakuryam. This is one of the mantras in the Upanishad. So ma aham brahma nirakurya means what? Let me not negate Brahman, because if I negate Brahman, there is nothing else here. So I must not negate Brahman. Then mama brahma nirakarot. Let the Brahman not negate me. That means what? You do not negate, you do not forget Ishvara. Let the Ishvara also not forget me. It's a prayer. It's the same here also. Sometimes I quote from different things. Don't worry about it. Because you read so many things, you teach so many things, right? These things will all come. So when you study Upanishad, you'll know. Oh, ma. Okay. You can study Gita also, you'll know. Mate sangos to akarmani. So let me not get attached to the karma. I'll be akarmani. I'll just be free from all these things. Right? The same here also. Yesham Purushanam ma behi. That means what? Behi means fear or the act of frightening. So ma behi means what? Do not frighten. So behe means frightening, and ma behe means what is ma behe? Purushana ma behe. So please do not frighten my people. Okay? So yesham purushana means my people should not be frightened because of you. So there is a prayer, correct? So you are praying for protection for your people. Whatever lineage you got, correct? Then ma pashunam ma behe. So you please do not threaten my cattle. Or see, pashuhu means what? Cattle. See, in the olden days, they were having cattle. There'll be cows, there'll be, several things will be there. Goat will be there. So those things are required for a person to live the life. Because milk is important. From milk you get curd, you get neigh, butter, all these things are required. So your daily life runs. Right? So ma pashunam ma bihi. Correct. Then yesham kinchana amamat. See, kinchana means what? Not even iota of things. Right? So kinchana ma amamat. It means what? There should not be even a little bit of destruction or any destruction to any of my cattle or any of these things. So here the word amamat means what? It means disease. And ma amamat means what? Let the cattle, my cattle, let my people not suffer from any disease. So let me not suffer from a disease. Let my people not suffer from a disease. Let my cattle not suffer from my disease. So, dhrapehe dhrapi andas patihi dharidrat nilalohitaha. You got that meaning, right? Now, yesham means in this way, purushanam ma behe. Yesham pashunam ma behe. Yesham kinchana amamat. Okay, so these people should not even have be affected by any disease. Correct? So that is the prayer. Drape antasaspate dharidra nila lohita yesham purushanam yesham pashunam Bher maro mo yesham kinchana mamat. Is it clear? Okay. Then, next. Yate Rudra Shiva Tanu Shiva Vishwaha Beshaji. Yate Rudra Shiva Tanu Shiva Vishwaha Beshaji. Shiva Rudrasya Beshaji Tayano Mruda Jivase. Shiva Rudrasya Beshaji Tayano Mruda Jivase. Yate Rudra Shiva Tanu Shiva Vishwaha Beshaji. Shiva Rudrasya Beshaji Tayano Mruda Jivase. So, Yate Rudraha, that Rudra or your Rudraha, Yate Rudraha Shivaha. So it's called Shivaha, auspiciousness. So Shivaha means auspiciousness, Badram means auspiciousness, Mangalam means auspiciousness, Kalyanam means auspiciousness. So any of the word is auspicious. So we say Kalyanam when we say it is an auspicious event, right? So when people get married, right? So we say Kalyanam. So Kalyanam is an auspicious event. Right? It's not Apashubhana. Because there are two hearts get united. Two people come from different walks of life who are not connected before in any way of life. They come together and take a solemn vow to follow the path of Dharma and propagate Dharma, and by the way of getting married, one gets a chance to develop or purify the Antakarana. The reason for getting married is not for conjugal bliss. Conjugal bliss is there, is one of the end benefits. But the real purpose of getting married is to raise yourself higher. So vivaha means what? Udritaha means may you rise in stature. That's what we call vivaha. So vivaha means, vaha means may you rise, may you lift yourself in stature in terms of dharma. That's why vivaha. So we never say Kalyana Subha Muhurta Patrika. We always say Vivaha Subha Muhurta Patrika. Correct? So we may say Kalyana Nanda Visara Padijugo. Kalokiyala. But when writing the Patrika, we always say Vivaham. We never put Kalyana Patrika. Correct? We never say this. Talking can say, because Kalyanam is an auspicious event. But Vivaham stands for a different purpose. Different purpose is these two people getting married for propagating Dharma, for their progeny, so that the Dharma, their progeny can flourish, and their Kulaha can flourish and Dharma can flourish. That is the purpose of marriage. You don't get married just like that. If things are different, I cannot comment what it is there. See, I may be teaching Vedanta. I myself do not know what will happen to my children or how they do, because I got nothing to do with what they're doing. Because they come with their own the karma. They come with their own lifestyle. They are already ordained. There's already somebody there for them already. So you do not need to search. When the time comes, the person will come in front of them. They will say, the panadam pidichirukku, indha kallam panina. Sandoshama irukka paniko. Because at the end of the day, their happiness is what is important. My happiness is not important. So the moment you feel that is all these things, maturity comes to you by experience. Sometimes it's a problem. அதை எப்படி நீங்க சொல்லலாம், நீங்களே கொடலாம் சொல்லி கொடுத்துடல அப்படின்னு. அப்படி இல்லை. The reason is when studying Vedanta, you understand that these things are already ordained. Like we talked about yesterday in the class we talked about the Prarabdha karma, right? So everybody comes with their own karma. They are already coming with their own setup. So the motte only when they come there, they are unfolding the motte and they are just opening and leaving and leaving the motte. That's all. So when the motte is finished, their unravelings are finished, then they go. Right? So all they are trying to do is they are just bringing their big bundle there, and the big bundle is being slowly opened, and one by one things are being. So you really do not have any say in any of these things. You can only recommend. You can only say this is what Dharma says. Krishna, you must never be, cannot, because then it will come and backfire. So you will become the problem. So you must be very careful about all these things. So Vedanta teaches you all these things, how to deal with people, how to distance yourself, mentally also distance. Social distancing is one thing which you learn now. Mentally or distance also you should know. Okay. So Yate is a very good topic to answer. But Yate Rudra Shiva. So Shiva means auspiciousness, correct? And Tanuhu means body, correct? So my body, Tanu Shiva, means the Shiva who is present as a body also. Tanu Shivaha. And how is he present? Vishwaha Beshaji. See, Beshajam means doctor, Bishak, medicine. So Bishak means doctor, and Beshaji means, Beshajam means medicine. Right? So he is like the medicine who, this Rudra, the one who is auspicious. Right? Shivaha, auspicious. Yate Rudra Shiva means that Rudra which is there, Te Rudraha. Shivaha, auspiciousness. Tanuhu Shiva. So the one who is auspicious, who has got an auspicious body, Tanuhu. He is the one responsible for Vishwaha Beshaji. So the medicine for everybody in this lokaha, Vishwaha Beshaji. Not only for you, he is a doctor for all the people. So doctor of doctor. See, you must have seen when you go to the hospital, somebody is very, very sick. You take him doctor, and the doctor says, doctor, you have to do everything. So what do? You go to the doctor, you pray, and then please, doctor, you take care of him. Doctor says, I am not the Bhagavan. Right? He tell you, I am not God. I am just a human being. I will do whatever I can. But he says you, right? Because he doesn't want to take responsibility for something which he doesn't have any control over it. Because giving life or taking life is not in his hand. He is only a custodian of the body. That's all he is doing. He is only protecting what you already have. And he will tell you what he can do, you cannot do. So it is something not, when we go and talk to the people, we do not understand this concept. It is your confidence, your prayer, your prayer sincere, then you will definitely come through it. And even if it doesn't come through, it takes a prasada. That's all it is. So Vishwaha Beshaji. Then Shiva Rudrasya Beshaji. So that's the Shivaha who is a doctor. Tayano Mrida Jivasehe. So that Shiva who is a doctor, please give me longevity. Taya no mrida jivase. Jivaha means what? Longevity. So you are praying for the Bhagavan that neenda ayil kudunga. Sometimes people say, neenda ayil enna pannal neenga vechina. I want to live a long life, very, very long life. Like, when he was asked, Markandeya, when he was born, he asked, do you want a child who want a very long life, or you want to have a child who is only a short life but a brilliant person? So the parents say that I don't want a person having a long life, but rather a person who's having a short life but a brilliant person. So same also here. The prayer is actually for having a long life, because nobody wants to die early, right? Can somebody say that I want to die tomorrow? Nobody. And I want to live. I want to live. Everybody எல்லாம் பார்த்துட்டு என்னோட பேரன்லாம் கல்யாணம் பண்ணிட்டு அவளுக்கு குழந்தை பிறந்து பார்த்துட்டு அவளுக்கு கல்யாணம் பண்ணி பார்த்துட்டு எல்லாம் கடைசியில் முடிச்சுட்டு தான் போன முடியுமா? So but here it says here, mridaha means make me happy, and jivasehe, and enable us to live. So yate rudra shiva, that shivaha whose body is auspicious, tanush shivaha, and who is also Vishwaha Beshaji, who is the doctor of the medicine of the entire world, who can give the medicine to the entire person, entire world. The curator, I can say this. Then that Shiva Rudrasya, Beshaji Tayano, means for me, Mrida Jivasehe, make me happy and do not take my life. So enable me to live happy. Right? So when you are in the good books of the Bhagavan, when you get the medicine of the Bhagavan, that means you get the grace of the Bhagavan. See, Bhagavan doesn't give medicine to you. Right? He will not give injection to you saying that he will give you grace, Arul. So that Arul is the medicine. Right? So Kadavul Arul Rinda Ellame Sriya. So it's called, what is the meaning of that second verse? Then Imagam Rudraya Tavase Kabartine Shayat Viraya Prabaramahe Matim Yatana Shamasadhipate Chatushpate Vishwam Prishtam Grame Aspinnanaturam Imagam Rudraya Tavase Kabardine Shayat Viraya Prabara Mahe Matim Yatana Shamasadhipate Chatushpade Vishwam Prishtam Grame Asminnanaturam. So Imam means Imagum Rudrasya or Bisrudraha. Tavase. So Tavase means the one who is to be prayed, the one who is got all knowledge, omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, is called Tavase. So this Rudraha, who is of the nature of Tavase, who is of the nature of all pervading knowledge. Jnanam, all pervading Jnanam. And how is it? Kabartinehe, matted hair. She has got matted hair. He doesn't have, he just combs just like this. So Kabartinehe. So you are visualizing the Bhagavan who is having a matted hair, and the one who is also called Tavase, the one who is all knowledge, all pervading knowledge. So in one line, there is Saguna Brahma Upasanam, which is the Kabartinehe. And the first line talks about the Nirguna Brahma Upasanam, which is the all pervading knowledge. So a person who wants to meditate on the Bhagavan, you can say, you are Yate Rudraha. Imagum Rudraha Tavase. So this, hey Rudra, you are that knowledge. You are that omnipotent knowledge. So this is the prayer of a jnani, a wise person. Then Imagum Rudrasya Kabartinehe. Hey Rudra, the one who has got matted hair. This is the Saguna Brahma Upasanam, the one who is visualizing Shiva with particular feature. See the beauty of that. In one line, it can cater for both the person. You can be a Saguna Brahma Upasana, you can also be Nirguna Brahma Upasana. So you transition from Sagunam to Nirguna. Right. Then Kshayat Viraya. So Kshayat Viraya, Kshayaha means decaying or making people weak. Right. And Viraha means what? You are the brave person. How does he become Viraha? By making other person weak. So Kshayat Viraya means the Bhagavan makes or wins by making the other person weaker. So in Bhagavad Gita also, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glane Bhavati Bharata. Abhyudhanam Adharmasya, correct? So Abhyudhanam Adharmasya means what? Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinashaya Chatushkritam. Correct. So Pavitranaya Sadhunam means what? To protect the Sadhunam. Correct. Vinashaya Chatushkritam. So to protect the people, I will make them stronger. I will make the sadhus becoming stronger by uplifting dharma, by enforcing dharma. In such a stage, the adharma will actually go away because adharma cannot stand in front of dharma. Which is seen in the Mahabharata also, right? Howsoever crude the Duryodhana is, howsoever strong the army is, so many people are there. Pancha Pandava, only 5 people are there. And Krishna is there. There are so many Maharathis, everybody is there. Adharma could not stand against these people because against dharma, adharma cannot even stand. When this light, there cannot be ignorance. You cannot say that ignorance will also be there and light also will be there. When light, prakasha is there, then jnanam or darkness is not there. Same thing says here, Kshayat Viraya means by making stronger, by becoming stronger, he eliminates the weaker people, he eliminates the enemies who are there. Kshayat Viraya. Mahe. So Prabara Mahe means what? Mahe means worship. And Prabara Mahe means what? Our highest amount of worship. So Prabara Mahe means. So Mahadevaha means, Mahe means what? He Mahe. So it means you worshipping, hey Lord. So Prabara Mahe means what? Our highest worship to the Bhagavan who is Imagum Rudraha, to this Rudraha, who is Tavasehe, who is of the nature of knowledge. Kabartinehe, who is also having matted hair. Kshayat Viraya, the one who is capable of making or removing the enemies by making me stronger. To such a person, my worship goes. Prabharamahe Mathim. Right? Matihi means what? My mental worship. Matihi means buddhi. So mentally, I am invoking Lord Shiva in what form? In the form of Tavase, number 1, Kabartine, Kshayad Viraya, and unto that Bhagavan, my highest amount of worship is offered by me mentally. Is it clear? See, now Rudra makes understanding clear, right? When you chant gada 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 gada, you will not know what it is. When you sit and just relax, see the meaning. See, Imagum Rudraya, that Rudraya, Tavase, So how is Rudra Tavase? Imagum Rudraya Kabartinehe. Imagum Rudraya Shad Viraya. So you added Imagum Rudraha to every word. So this Rudra is Tavase, that Rudra is Kabartinehe, that Rudra is Shad Viraya. Prabaramahe Matim. I offer my worship to him mentally. Highest amount of worship. Correct? Then Yatha, in this manner, Shamasat Dvipathe means what? Sham Asat. Sham means happiness. Okay. Sham Asat means happiness. In this way, please bring us happiness. To whom? Dvipate. Who is Dvipate? Manushaha. Dvi means இரண்டு கால். இரண்டு கால் உடைய பிராணிகள். யாருக்கு இரண்டு கால் உடைய பிராணிகள்? நாம தான் இருப்போம் மனுஷா. So Shama Asat Dvipate. So Dvipade means இரண்டு. Padaha means feet. Right? Padyate anena iti padam. That means that which leads us to something is called padam. Padam is the Saguna Brahma Upasana. Padam means the feet of the Lord. Padam means that which takes you closer to the Bhagavan is called Padam. Padyate anena iti padam shama asat dvipate. Okay. So இரண்டு கால பிராணிகள் or the two-legged people or the human beings. Then chatushpade. Chatush means four. Four padaha means what? Four-legged people. Who are they? Animals. Okay. So chatushpade means animals. And Vishwam, all the people in this. So you're not asking only for you or your cattle. Let happiness, Shamaha, be Shamaha Vishwam Dvipade. Okay. Shamaha Vishwam Chatushpade. Means Sham means happiness. So let happiness be given to all the living beings in this world, whether they are two-legged people or they are four-legged people. So now the prayer, the worship actually extends initially from your cattle, your jiva, your everybody else. Now it expands now to slightly wider version. This is called, first is called Ekarupa Dhyana. So Ekarupa Dhyana means you and the Bhagavan, you are having a conversation, one-to-one. See, என்னோட family protect பண்ணுங்க முதல்ல, என்னோட protect my house, protect my people, protect my son, everybody. இதெல்லாம் நீங்க protect. Then when the person becomes wiser, after some time when he becomes a little bit knowledgeable, he starts to forget the individuality. Right? It's okay. Sarve jana sukhino bhavantu. Meaning what? Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu, sarvam brahmarpanamastu. So it means what? Let people be happy. If people are happy, I'm also happy. If people are unhappy, you're also unhappy. How can you be happy when people are unhappy? Tell me. In your house, you are a member of the family, right? Everybody is crying, everybody is always, like this. Will you be happy? You will never be happy. Because you feel there's something wrong. People are not happy. So you tend to either, ask them for your happiness and you pray for them. Right? So when people around you are happy, you're also happy about it, correct? That is how it is. So why not ask for the prayer? Why not ask for everybody's happiness? Right? So this is how the person elevates from Ekarupa Dhyanam to Anekarupa Dhyanam. So from a single person now, he goes into Anekarupa Dhyanam, that is worshipping every animal there, everybody, all the cattle will be happy. Let all the people be happy there. I don't want happiness only for myself. Let everybody be happy. So Shamaha Dvipate, Shamaha Chatushpate, Shamaha Vishwam, right? And Prushtam. Prushtam means nourishment. So Prushtaha means what? Prushtihi means nourishment. So let the world be nourished, let everybody be nourished, let the cattle be nourished, let the two-legged people be nourished. See, nourishment means what? It means that you are got abundant food, you got abundant, things to live, so that you are well nourished person. Not in terms of food, in terms of mental also. So nourishment doesn't include only physical nourishment, it also includes mental nourishment. See, when we eat our food, in the Bhagavad Gita is a very big chapter on food itself, which we'll see when we do this. In chapter 16 or 17, there's a big, very big. The food which we eat determines how we, relate to the world, how we develop ourselves. Every food has got Sattva Gunaha, Rajo Gunaha, and Tamo Gunaha. So, the food which is eaten, the grossest part of the food goes as excreta. The grossest part of the food which doesn't belong to any of these things, it goes as excreta. The second aspect of the food, see, how do you know? Can you analyze chemically? I do not know. Shastram says it is what it is. The food determines your mental state. If you eat animal or animal food, then animal buddhi also will come to you, because animal is tamasic nature. See, they are eating because they want to eat like this. But that animal itself is made of lower nature. It doesn't have intellect. It is made of tamasic nature. It's always steeped in ignorance. First opening sentence I made, human beings are different. Animals are steeped in ignorance. Remember the first lecture I told you, first sentence. That is how it is. So when you eat such an animal, just steeped in ignorance all the time, you will develop only tamasic qualities, not sattvic qualities. So the food which you eat is important. The way you eat is important. What you eat is important, and what you're thinking about is important. So all of them are important. So the second aspect of it, it goes into the body as flesh. Then the subtlest, most part of it goes into the brain. That is why when you eat a very large, heavy food, sometimes you feel lethargic. The brain doesn't work. Correct. So you just want to lie down, like a python. A python, what does it do? When it's eating, it doesn't know how big an animal is eating. After eating, it can't walk, it can't crawl. It just sits there for many days and months till the food digests itself, then it becomes normal. Right? Same way, very important that Prushtam, when I say here, that let me be nourished well in terms of food, in terms of mental ability, in terms of intellect, is Prushtam. Okay? So then Grame means, Gramaha means let my village, let my community also be blessed. Shamaha. So Shamaha Dvipate, Shamaha Chatushpade, Shamaha Vishwa, Shamaha Prushtam, Shamaha Gramam. Right? So Gramam means what? In the village. See, in the olden days, they used to live in the village. It's not city at. Agraharam, like people used to live in the village. Right? So in the village, so this was written during that time. So Grame, then Asmin Anaturam. Asmin means for me, Asmin. Anaturam means free from disease. So by invoking the wisdom of Bhagavan, by offering, you are freeing yourself from Bhagavan, saying that disease should not be there. So let my village be free from disease. Let all the food be food Pushtam free from disease. Let the Chatushpadaha free from disease. Let the human beings free from disease. Thereby, Shamaha is prevailed. So it means happiness is there, and unto the Bhagavan, my prayer is there. You are able to follow? So, Imagam Rudraya Tavase Kabardine Kshayat Viraya Prabara Mahe Matim Yatana Shamasadvipate Chatushpade Vishwam Prishtam Grame Asmin Anaturam. So, Asmin Anaturam. Correct? So, Asmin Grame Anaturam means what? In my village. Asmin Grame Anaturam means in my village there should not be any disease. So, when you say Gramam means not your Gramam. It takes Gramam means the whole universe is Gramam. Because this is where you live. So, let the whole world will be free from disease. Let all the living, the Manushaha be free from disease. And let all the cattle be free from disease. Whatever food which is being generated is free from disease. Right? That way, everybody will be happy. And this is the prayer, the highest amount of prayer you can have. Where you are now stepping away from being a Artha Bhakta, just being only by yourself. Now you are seeing the vision of the Bhagavan, saying that, oh my God, everybody is Bhagavan here, everybody be happy. Let the world flourish, let everybody there. So this brings, clarity in thoughts. It brings that you're no longer worried about your own personal gains and benefits. Now you are actually thinking about the world benefits. So any action you do, you always check whether my action is going to be causing any problem to the ecological way or to the universe. So if such an action is taking place, I must not do that action. Correct. So this is an attitude. The Karma Yogi attitude comes in picture. The Karma Yogi thinks everything he does, any activity he does, he thinks twice. And the activity panna is a dharmic adharmic. What am I going to get out of this? Am I going to be benefited, or the world is going to be benefited? If at all, how it is benefited? Is it leading to a direction? All these questions are asked every time the person does the karma. For that, the buddhi has to be there. The pancha buddhi we talked about has to be there all the time. Like, the blood flows in your body, right, all the time. And the blood stops, you stop. So the same way, these things are not there, that means you go in the wrong line. Is it clear? Any question from the students? Shikanji, you want to ask anything? You're okay?
No, sir, I'm good.
Soumya ji, have you got any questions?
Sir, it's good. Yeah,
All clear? Okay.
I think so.
Sometimes people forget to ask questions because they're afraid. If I ask any question back, it's a problem.
When we read again and go through again, we'll get some doubts.
So you take notes, Soumya ji?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Sriram, anything you want to say, or you okay so far?
All good. Okay. Thanks.
You're enjoying Rudram now?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. It just gives a different perspective. When we are all chanting together, it's a mechanical way of doing things. But sometimes, I like to do this on my own. Just read text and assimilate. And then you understand the real meaning of everything. It sinks into it slowly.
Absolutely. I think I think we had a little bit of conversation after that Adhirudram chanting about the Saguna way of worshipping and then the Nirguna way of worshipping. Actually, Rudram talk about the Nirguna form of Shiva and also the Saguna form. The Hari Kesaya Yoga Vidine.
Yeah, correct.
It's all about the Stavara Jankamam, right? And so you need other day Kushal also asked the same question, equanimity. So you see God in everywhere, including the human beings and then the the plant kingdom and animal kingdom.
Correct. So basically what it does is actually it opens up your mind. See, you already know about all these things.
Correct.
But somehow, like, our mind doesn't get registered. So all Vedanta does is it just opens up, starts to stir things up. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? That's all it does. It doesn't do anything, change overnight. Things you've forgotten, things you're taking for granted, it just says that, hey, have you thought about this? This is how it should be like this. So that's all it does. So when you open up your mind, that's when, when you realize all these things are actually starting to turn your life completely. So you'll still be the same person, but your thoughts will change. Now your perception will change. Your attitude will change. Everything, your lifestyle will also change. Sometimes it is good for you. Sometimes it's not good for other people. What is good for you may not be good for your other people also. Luckily, if you got your family Vedanta, you are escaped. You got, luckily for him, Bhavaniji also is studying Vedanta. So nobody can say that like you are studying there. In my case also, my wife, she's a Vedanti herself. So she studies on her own. So we don't have any clash. Imagine that if you are the only person studying Vedanta in your house, then somebody will Vedanta Katina. They'll come and say, what are you getting out of this? And you're studying Vedanta, talking about all this. What are you going to get out of it? The person who says this will not understand it, because you are the person benefiting it. It's always going to be this like this. But this is how life will change. Slowly, things will be different for you, because you will have to deal with this. And how to deal with this, Vedanta makes you stronger to deal with this kind of things. Okay. So we'll stop here for now. And we will reconvene. Tomorrow we got Upanishad class. So I think Sriram attends and some other people attend as well. Then we'll see next week how we see the rest of the mantras. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Uma, Singapore, have you got a question?
Fine.
Oh, fine. So because you...
Fine.
Okay. Because I saw your hand there. So I thought you want to ask something else.
No.
Okay.
I'm fine.
I can see only electronic hand. I don't see a real hand there. So.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you, sir.